Chapter 6. The Metaphysics of Connection. A unified consciousness. Idealism offers a vision of reality that's both profound and deeply comforting. The idea that all consciousness is unified. A single, universal mind that connects every being, every thought, every experience. Picture a vast, shimmering tapestry, its threads woven from light, stretching infinitely in every direction. Each thread represents an individual consciousness. Your mind, my mind, the mind of a bird soaring through the sky, even the subtle awareness of a tree as it sways in the wind. At first glance, these threads seem separate, each with its own color, its own pattern, its own story. But as you look closer, you realize they're all part of the same tapestry, woven from the same light, connected in a way that transcends their individual forms. This is the idealist view of consciousness, a unified field, a universal mind that underlies all existence, holding us all together in a cosmic embrace. This idea of a unified consciousness has roots in both philosophy and spiritual traditions. In the 18th century, George Berkeley, whose ideas we've explored, saw the universal mind as God, a divine consciousness that perceives all things and ensures the world's continuity. For Berkeley, the reason a tree doesn't vanish when you stop looking at it is because God is always perceiving it, holding it in existence with infinite awareness. This gave Berkeley a sense of wonder, knowing that everything, every person, every object, every moment exists within a divine mind, a consciousness that's both vast and intimate. Modern idealists often move away from religious frameworks, but the core insight remains. There's a single consciousness that manifests as the multiplicity we experience, a universal mind that connects us all. This concept resonates with non-dual traditions like Advaita Vedanta, an ancient Indian philosophy that sees reality as one, undivided whole. Imagine a sage in ancient India, sitting under a banyan tree, teaching his students about Brahman, the ultimate reality. In Advaita Vedanta, Brahman is the universal consciousness, the only true reality, and the individual self. Your sense of being a separate I is an illusion, a temporary veil that obscures the truth. The world of separate objects, people, and events is like a dream within Brahman, a play of consciousness that seems real but is ultimately one. When you realize this, the boundaries between self and other dissolve, and you experience the unity that underlies all things. Idealism shares this vision, suggesting that the physical world is a manifestation of a universal mind, and our individual consciousnesses are expressions of that mind, like waves on the ocean we explored in Chapter 2. Let's bring this idea closer to home with a personal reflection. I remember a moment when I felt this unity in a way that changed me. I was meditating by a lake at sunrise, the water still as glass, reflecting the first light of dawn. As I sat there, breathing deeply, I felt the boundaries of myself begin to soften. It was as if I wasn't just a person sitting by the lake. I was the lake, the light, the air, the birds singing in the distance. My thoughts, my breath, my heartbeat, they felt like they were part of a larger rhythm, a cosmic pulse that connected me to everything. It wasn't a thought or a belief, it was a felt experience, a glimpse of the unified consciousness that idealism describes. That moment left me with a sense of peace and connection, a reminder that I'm never truly alone, no matter how separate I might feel. This unified consciousness has profound implications for how we live. If we're all part of the same mind, then the boundaries between me and you are less rigid than they seem. The person you pass on the street, the animal you see in the forest, even the tree by the lake, they're all expressions of the same consciousness, just wearing different forms. This perspective can foster a deep sense of compassion and responsibility, encouraging us to treat others with the same care we'd give ourselves, because in a very real way, they are ourselves. It also suggests that we can tap into this universal mind, accessing wisdom, creativity, and insight beyond our individual limits. Meditation, prayer, even moments of all those times when you feel connected to something greater might be glimpses of this unity, moments when the wave remembers it's part of the ocean. As we explore this chapter, we'll see how this metaphysical connection can deepen our understanding of reality and our place within it. Beyond space and time, idealism's vision of a unified consciousness leads us to another fascinating idea, that consciousness might exist beyond the constraints of space and time, a concept known as non-locality. In the materialist worldview, reality is bound by the physical dimensions we experience: space, with its distances and separations, and time, with its linear progression from past to future. Picture a clock ticking on the wall, each second marking the march of time, or a map spread out on a table, showing the miles between cities. Materialism assumes that consciousness is tied to these dimensions, a product of the brain, which exists in a specific place your head and operates in the present moment. But idealism challenges this assumption, suggesting that consciousness is non-local, existing outside the boundaries of space and time as we know them. This idea of non-locality finds surprising support in physics, particularly in the phenomenon of quantum entanglement. Imagine a lab where scientists are studying two particles, created in such a way that they're entangled, a mysterious connection that links their states, no matter how far apart they are. If one particle is measured and found to be spinning up, the other will instantly be found spinning down, even if they're on opposite sides of the universe. This happens faster than the speed of light, defying the materialist idea that information can't travel faster than light. Albert Einstein famously called this spooky action at a distance, skeptical of its implications, but experiments have confirmed it time and again. Quantum entanglement suggests that the universe isn't as local as we thought. There's a level of reality where space doesn't separate things in the way we expect. Idealism interprets this non-locality as evidence that consciousness is fundamental, not bound by the physical dimensions of space and time. If the universe is a manifestation of a universal mind, then the separations we perceive between here and there, now and then, are part of the mental construct, not the ultimate reality. The universal consciousness exists beyond these dimensions, a timeless, spaceless presence that connects all things. Quantum entanglement might be a glimpse of this deeper reality, a sign that the physical world is a projection of a mind that transcends the limitations we take for granted. In this view, the entangled particles aren't communicating across space, they're connected within the universal consciousness, where space doesn't exist in the same way. This idea of non-locality also resonates with human experiences that defy materialist explanations, like near-death experiences and telepathic connections. Picture a person who, during a near-death experience, reports seeing their body from above, describing details of the hospital room they couldn't have seen with their physical eyes, like a shoe on the roof, later confirmed by staff. Or imagine twins who feel each other's emotions across continents, a phenomenon often reported but dismissed by materialists as coincidence. Idealism suggests that these experiences might reflect the non-local nature of consciousness. If our minds are part of a universal consciousness, then they're not confined to our brains or the present moment. They can access information and experiences beyond the physical, tapping into the timeless, spaceless mind that connects us all. Let's reflect on what this means for our understanding of reality. If consciousness is non-local, then the past, present, and future might not be as separate as they seem. The universal mind might hold all moments simultaneously, like a book where every page exists at once, even if we can only read one page at a time. This could explain phenomena like precognition, when someone dreams of an event before it happens, or the feeling of déjà vu, where a moment feels like it's been lived before. These experiences might be glimpses of the non-local nature of consciousness, moments when we touch the timeless reality that idealism describes. This perspective invites us to see time and space not as fixed boundaries, but as mental constructs within a greater mind, opening up new ways to think about our existence and the connections that bind us. Dreams as portals. If consciousness is non-local, existing beyond space and time, then dreams might be more than just random firings of the brain. They might be portals to the universal mind, glimpses of the deeper reality that idealism reveals. In the materialist view, dreams are a byproduct of neural activity, a way for the brain to process emotions, memories, and experiences while you sleep. Picture a neuroscientist in a sleep lab, electrodes attached to a sleeping subject, their brain waves dancing across a screen. The scientist might point to the rapid eye movement or REM stage, where most dreaming occurs, and explain how the brain's activity during this stage creates the vivid, often bizarre scenarios we experience in dreams. But idealism offers a different perspective, one that sees dreams as a bridge to the universal consciousness, a state where the boundaries of our individual mind soften, and we connect with something greater. Imagine a dream you had recently, one that felt so real it lingered long after you woke. Perhaps you were flying over a shimmering ocean, the wind rushing past you, the water below sparkling with every shade of blue. Or maybe you were speaking with a loved one who's passed away, their presence so vivid you could feel their warmth, hear their voice, sense their love. In that dream, the world felt as real as waking life until you opened your eyes, and it vanished, leaving you with a sense of wonder or longing. Materialism might say this was just your brain processing emotions or memories, but idealism suggests something more profound. In dreams, Your individual consciousness might be tapping into the universal mind, accessing a reality that transcends the physical. This idea aligns with experiences reported across cultures and traditions, where dreams are seen as more than mere imagination. In many indigenous cultures, dreams are considered a sacred space, a realm where the dreamer can connect with ancestors, spirits, or the divine. Picture a shaman in a forest, preparing for a dream journey, their body still as they enter a trance-like state. They might dream of a message from the spirit world, a vision that guides their community, a truth that feels more real than waking life. Idealism supports this view, suggesting that dreams might be a state where the filter of the brain, the default mode network we discussed in Chapter 4, relaxes, allowing your consciousness to merge more fully with the universal mind. In this state, you might access insights, experiences, or connections that go beyond your individual self, touching the timeless, spaceless reality that underlies all things. Let's reflect on a dream I once had that felt like such a connection. I was walking through a golden field, the grass swaying in a gentle breeze, when I saw a figure in the distance, a wise, ancient presence who seemed to know me deeply. We didn't speak, but I felt a profound sense of understanding, as if they were sharing a truth I'd always known but forgotten. When I woke, the feeling stayed with me, a sense of peace and clarity that guided me through a difficult decision. Idealism suggests that this dream might have been a glimpse of the universal consciousness, a moment when my mind touched the greater whole, accessing wisdom beyond my individual experience. Dreams, in this view, aren't just random, they're portals, invitations to explore the deeper layers of reality that idealism reveals. Original exercise. Dream journaling. Let's bring this idea into your own life with a practical exercise I've created. Dream journaling. This exercise will help you explore your dreams as potential connections to the universal consciousness, a way to tap into the deeper reality idealism describes. Keep a notebook and pen by your bed, or use a voice recorder if you prefer. Each morning, as soon as you wake, take a few moments to recall your dreams before they fade. Write down or record everything you remember, the people, places, emotions, even the smallest details, like the color of the sky or the sound of a voice. Don't worry about making sense of it. Just capture the experience as vividly as you can. Once you've recorded your dream, reflect on it. Look for recurring themes, symbols, or feelings that stand out. Did you feel a sense of connection, as if you were part of something larger? Did you encounter a figure or place that felt familiar, even if you've never seen it before? Consider the possibility that these elements might be glimpses of the universal mind, messages or experiences that transcend your individual consciousness. Over time, you might notice patterns, symbols that repeat, emotions that resonate, insights that feel profound. This practice can deepen your awareness of the metaphysical connection idealism reveals, helping you see your dreams as portals to a greater reality, a shared consciousness that holds us all.